Thanks for joining us on Plus TV Africa. I'm Benga Aborowa. Tragedy was averted today at the UBA office of Church Street, Victoria Island, Lagos, after a fire broke out on its premises. Plus TV Africa correspondent Felicity Ezewike was at the scene and brings us this report.
We're here at the UBA office at Church Gate, Victoria Island, where there was just a fire incident. The fire service, as you can see behind me, are still here. The situation has been brought under control. The entire wing of the generator, where they have their generators, has been burnt beyond recognition. But the good news is that no life was lost. Nobody was hospitalized. We do have an eyewitness, Philip, who witnessed the entire incident and tells us what actually happened. Philip, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Could you tell us what happened?
Felicity, actually, it was a shock. We were all in the office and we just heard everybody should go out, everybody should go out. And by the time we came to the scene, we discovered that it was a major fire. Now, what really caused the fire was there was a diesel tanker supplying fuel into the diesel tank and suddenly sparked. And with the spark, it triggered everything. And the diesel tank of UBA building exploded. And on the road, we had so much diesel on the road, so people started running helter-skelter.
So I just hear poo. So when I hear poo, I have to rush. So we rush there and we see the fire actually was burning everywhere. So we was trying to save some cars there, but we didn't have the keys because some of their staff was at up. So we was trying to rush. So we just have to break some cars and then try to push them out.
While still talking to eyewitnesses, we noticed some people scooping diesel from the gutters just in front of the UBA bank. We spoke to a few passerbys on their thoughts on this development.
It's a big risk anyway for them to be stupid diesel. It's a risk to them and to the people entirely over there. Because to me, I don't really see any idea for them to go there. That place should be kept safe for the safety of the people.
I believe that people that are around here need to survive in their life, and they have seen in a situation that they need to make their money. So for them to gather here is not a problem for their own life, living life. It's even much better you see them hustling this way than you see some of them entering the street to thief or any other thing.
Thank God no life was lost. My name is Felicity Ezewike, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
The military have confirmed the arrest of 7 suspects in connection with the attacks on some communities in Plateau State. Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General John Agim, disclosed this to reporters on Tuesday while parading the suspects in Jos, the state capital. While the suspects, Ibrahim Joji and Mr. Madu Ibrahim, were arrested allegedly for the attacks on June 23rd, the military apprehended 3 others, Shaibu Suleiman, Buhari Shaibu, and Zakamin Abdul Qadri, in connection with the killings that took place on the 14th of July. Brigadier General Agim revealed that the commander of the Operation Safe Haven was relocated to the local government area after President Muhammad Buhari ordered that the perpetrators of the attacks be brought to justice. He noted that while the military would continue with the arrest, those apprehended will be handed over to the police for further investigation and prosecution. 8 suspects who took part in the kidnap of 276 Chibiok girls in Borno State have been paraded by the Nigerian police in Maiduguri, the state capital. The 8 suspected Boko Haram terrorists, who are amongst 22 persons paraded, were said to have been arrested by operatives of the Inspector General's Intelligence Response Team in Borno, Adamawa and adjoining communities. The suspects are alleged to have masterminded over 50 suicide bomb attacks within Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, and Adamawa state, and also launched several other attacks leading to the death of thousands of Nigerians. The students of the government secondary school in Chibiok were captured by the members of the terrorist group on April the 14th, 2014, an incident that triggered international outrage and campaigns for the rescue of the schoolgirls. So far, 112 of the girls have regained their freedom, mainly following negotiations between the federal government and representatives of the terrorist group. Ekiti State Governor-elect Dr. Kayode Fayemi on Wednesday collected a certificate of return from the INEC National Commissioner, Prince Solomon Shoyebi, at the INEC headquarters in Ekiti State. Dr. Fayemi was accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Bisi Fayemi, his deputy governor-elect, Otunbani Egbeyemi, and his wife, as well as party chieftains and members. The INEC commissioner, in his address, thanked the people of Ekiti for the peaceful conduct and outcome of the election, describing the process as the way forward for subsequent elections in Nigeria. The governor-elect appreciated the commission, security agencies, and other stakeholders who made the election a credible exercise. Fayemi assured Ekiti people that the work has started and the people would enjoy good governance that has eluded them in the last 4 years. He promised to show exemplary leadership and lead the people to achieve his 8-point agenda for the development of the state. Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose has demanded that his life and that of his family be secured, saying there is no single policeman protecting him. The governor, who made his first public appearance on Tuesday since Ekiti held his governorship elections, lamented that he and his family are not safe. Governor Fayose made the allegations when he visited the Ewi of Ado-Ekiti, Oba Adeyemo Adejube, at his palace in the state capital. He condemned the situation where the man that contested against me is allegedly protected by at least 2 units of policemen, while the incumbent governor has no single policeman to protect him. The governor claimed the police officers deployed in the government house has been withdrawn since Wednesday last week and called for the intervention of concerned individuals and groups in the matter. A new minimum wage for Nigerian workers is to be announced in August. This was announced by the president of the Trade Union Congress, Mr. Boboy Kaigama, on Wednesday. Boboy, who noted that the committee working on the minimum wage had almost concluded negotiations, said the new amount will be one that is agreed by Labour and federal government. The federal government has set a September date to roll out a new minimum wage for workers, although the Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, was recently reported as double-speaking on the issue. A former minister and former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Aloysius Katsina-Alu, is dead. Justice Walter Ononegan confirmed it. Katsina-Alu was born on August 18th, 1941. He was age 76. A deceased who hailed from Ushongo in Benue State, was a CGN from December 30th, 2009 to August 28, 2011. South Africa today marked 100 years since Nelson Mandela's birth, with Barack Obama hosting a youth leadership project as Archbishop Desmond Tutu led emotional tributes to the late anti-apartheid icon. Mandela's birthday on July 18th is celebrated annually around the world, with charitable works, and the Nelson Mandela Foundation called for people to take action and inspire change in his name on the centenary year. In Johannesburg, Obama told 200 people attending a leadership course he had set up that Mandela had been a key inspiration in his life. To deregulate the petroleum industry, as recommended by the International Monetary Fund, has been resisted by sections of the population, including civil society organizations. Last week, the Sierra Leonean government removed its fuel subsidy and effectively increased fuel price from 6,000 leon to 8,000 leon for petrol, diesel, and kerosene. A decision taken by President Julius Maada Bio marked 100 days in office led to the first public demonstrations against his government's policies. Over the past decade, anti-government demonstrations have been systematically banned or violently dispersed in Sierra Leone. 11 people have died and 15 missing after an overloaded boat carrying more than 100 people capsized on the Congo River in the Basoko territory in the northeast province on Monday night. According to local officials, the boat was said to have been traveling at night without lights and hit a rock before capsizing. Accidents on the Democratic Republic of Congo's rivers and lakes are frequent and blamed mostly on poorly maintained vessels that lack life jackets and defy a ban on small vessels traveling at night. When we return, we'll bring you the latest updates on the road to recovery for the Thai boys. On the foreign scene, one of the 12 boys rescued from a flooded cave in Northern Thailand this month has described the moment of miracle when divers found them. Adu Sam-on, 14 years old, the only member of the junior football team who speaks English, could only say hello when the two British divers surfaced. I was stunned because they were English, so I said hello, the boy said. The boys, who were underground for more than 2 weeks, left hospital earlier on Wednesday and are on their way home. A bitter row has flared up between a Spanish rescue charity and the Italian government after a dead migrant woman and child were found off Libya. Proactiva Open Arms posted images of the bodies and its rescue of a surviving Cameroonian woman clinging to timber on their deflated dinghy. The charity said the Libyan Coast Guard had abandoned the three and blamed Italy for backing it. Italy and the Libyan Coast Guard denied the charity's allegations. Boris Johnson has said it's not too late to save Brexit, as he accused Theresa May of deserting over the UK strategy for leaving the EU. In a resignation speech in the Commons, the ex-Foreign Secretary said a needless fog of self-doubt had descended over the past 18 months. While praising the PM's courage and resilience, he said her Chequers plan would see the UK in miserable limbo. He quit 10 days ago, saying he could not support the PM's EU blueprint. I'll bring you business reports after this break. Do stay with us. And in business, the Naira declined yesterday by 70 kobo after the Central Bank of Nigeria injected $210 million into the interbank forex market. It is currently at 358 Naira 7 kobo to the dollar. According to the exchange rate of the Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria, the parallel market exchange rose to 358 Naira 7 kobo to a dollar from what it traded a day before at 358 Naira to a dollar. However, the Naira appreciated by 15 kobo in the investors and exporters window on Tuesday at 361 Naira 70 kobo. Google is to be fined a record 4.3 billion euros over its Android operating system. The European Commission's action followed a 3-year probe into claims the firm's mobile device strategy had unfairly strengthened its dominance of search. The penalty is set to be confirmed at the press conference in Brussels later. It will be the highest fine imposed by the regulator against a single firm. However, Google may challenge the ruling. Hadi Srikar, Minister of State for Aviation, has unveiled the name and logo of the new national carrier, Nigerian Air. Speaking on Wednesday in London at the ongoing Farnborough International Air Show, Srikar said the government will not own more than 5% of the airline. He said this is an important day for Nigeria, the largest economy in Africa, largest population, GDP of around $500 million, and the only true aviation player in Western Central Africa, he said. According to the minister, the airline will have flights on 81 domestic, regional and international routes. Operations are scheduled to begin in December 2018. If you're wondering about how to invest and what to invest in, our business correspondent Irene Ubani has you covered, as she recently spoke to Charles Fakwa of Foresight Securities and Investments.
Charles Fakwa of Foresight Securities and Investment brings us to speed on when and where to invest.
There is no best or worst time to come to the market. It all depends on the objective of that investor. And you must also recall that investment in the stock market, it's a long-term perspective. So any investor who is coming should have a long-term focus. The issue of short-term should not come into play. When you have a long-term perspective, that is when you are going to get the benefit of investing in the stock market. At the same time, you must also do a profile. Get close to your stockbroker who will do what I call a risk profile, so that you understand the kind of risks you can take and the particular sector you can invest and get the benefit you're expected to get. So the oil and gas sector has performed so well despite challenges. And of course, we know that oil is the major revenue for Nigeria, and the Nigerian government is doing a lot to ensure that the operations in this sector is well arranged, is efficient, and is smooth. The oil and gas sector is a good one to go, but of course the risk is very high. So if as an investor you can take that risk, you can get involved in the oil and gas sector. I also advise investors to look at the financial service industry. You can also invest, and also the insurance sector that is still in its infancy stage. And I know that the regulators are doing a lot to ensure that that sector takes its rightful position in the Nigerian capital markets.
Irene Ubani, reporting for Plus TV Africa.
On the activities of the day from the Nigerian Stock Exchange, our business correspondent Irene Ubani brings us up to date on all the trades and deals that took place today.
The Nigerian stock market has again closed on a downward trend, making it the third consecutive decline since the week began. All-share index dropped by 0.61% to close at 36,736.67. On the list of top gainers were international breweries, which advanced by 3 naira 5 kobo, PZ 1 naira 5 kobo, Dangote Sugar 35 kobo, Cadbury 35 kobo, and UBN 2 kobo. Top decliners were Guarantee 2 naira 65 kobo, Okomu Oil 2 naira, First Bank Nigeria Holding 1 naira, Nigerian Breweries 5 kobo, and Oando 5 kobo. Making the list of top 5 trades in today's stock market were Transcorp, Zenith Bank, Fidelity Bank, Oando, and Access. Equity capitalization stood at 13.312 trillion naira, with a total of 3,854 deals.
Still ahead on Plus TV News is our roundup on entertainment and sports news. We'll be back in a moment.
In entertainment, Nigerian singer Onyeka Onwenu is appealing to Boko Haram for the release of Leah Sharibu, who is the only Dapchi schoolgirl held in captivity by the group. Her appeal came in a video clip where she was seen crying whilst making her plea. She also appealed to President Muhammadu Buhari to take a leaf from the successful rescue of the Thai boys and to do everything within his power to ensure the rescue of Leah Sharibu, who has been held captive for failing to renounce her Christian faith by the jihadist militant organization. Oreka Goddess, a Nigerian media personality, has starred in a movie alongside South African actress Terry Feto. The film was shot in London and was directed by Joseph Adesunloye, an award-winning Nigerian-British director. It would have its world premiere at the 2018 Durban International Film Festival. The festival, which will feature other high-profile actors, will take place from the 19th of July to the 29th of July 2018. Following the news this morning that American singer Michelle Williams of Destiny's Child has checked into a mental health facility in her battle against depression, American rapper Missy Elliott has come out to show support for the singer. Missy took to social media to share her words of encouragement, and on the platform, she said Michelle shows the world why she was a class act and that depression is real, especially in our community. Missy advised Michelle to keep shining love, as she was not in this alone. That's it on entertainment, the very best in sports, right after this.
Hello and welcome to Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoko with the biggest stories in the world of sports. Two-time African champions Enyimba International defeated Williamsville of Ivory Coast 1-0 in their group stage game at the 2018 CAF Confederation Cup and have gone to the summit of Group C. And the match was played at the Adokia Mesiamaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, and Ibrahim Mustafa was the hero for Enyimba as he netted the only goal of the game to give his side hope of progressing to the knockout stage of the competition. And the result means that the Aba Elephants now have 6 points from the first 3 games with two wins and 1 loss. And the top 2 teams qualify for the last 8 from Group C. And Enyimba's group stage fixtures, we have away games against Williamsville on Sunday, the 29th of July. There will also be away versus Joliba on Sunday, the 17th of August. And they'll be playing at home against Cara Brazzaville on Wednesday, the 29th of August. The new Chelsea boss, Maurizio Sarri, says he wants to keep Eden Hazard at the club and also wants to improve the Belgian forward. And for Hazard, he has been linked with Real Madrid. He said it might be time to discover something different after 6 years at Stamford Bridge. And for Sarri, speaking at a news conference earlier on today, he described Hazard as one of the top 2 or 3 European players. And Sarri said he wanted to meet Hazard, who is away on holiday after representing Belgium at the World Cup. While all eyes are on the leading male players in the world at Carnoustie this week, one female golfer will be doing her bit to inspire young girls to take up the sport. As the 147th Open gets underway, Brittany Lissicombe will be lining up alongside the men at the PGA's Barbosa Championship in Kentucky. In doing so, the 32-year-old American will be only the 6th woman in history to compete against men on the PGA Tour. And that's it on Sports Update on Plus TV Africa. I am Udoka Njoku.
And that's our news roundup of events. We'll be back later with more stories making the headlines. Do join us. I'm Benga Aboroa. Have a lovely evening.